Hey guys, this is Turok, and in this today I'm going to be doing a review of One Piece chapter 1156. I'm sorry, for some reason I feel a little anxious today. I've been preparing for the last 2 days to review this, and I still feel like, what else do I have to look up? I really want to make sure I get this, cover all this. Oda's really doing a beautiful job of paralleling. We start out this whole flashback with talk about King Harold and how it relates to Hiruden and Loki's relationship and the stuff going on in Elbaf. But Oda's done a beautiful job of using this timeline to bring in other characters together so that we understand what was happening in parallel time of this story. And we started doing that with the Rocks Pirates, and that's like the main focus here, because the Rocks, as we can tell here, and we got teasers before that, the Rocks Pirates were the headliners of the whole focusing on 40 years ago before, because we're hopefully, I don't know, I wonder how many more chapters Oda's got to do this. He did about 8 chapters with Kuma's flashback and covered a lot of ground too. I'm still more interested in wondering what happened with Harold on all this. Getting other information that kind of just ties in other stuff. Harold too is part of the story, mostly because Rox wants to keep incorporating him, and there's a lot of stuff there because Rox wants to get Harold on board. A lot of parallels going on too. So in the last chapter, we got information from Rox, and we got to meet some of the other crew members that he had joining with him at the time that we hadn't met before. There was 2 of them specifically, but we also saw that Shiki, Wang Ji, and Buckingham was there. We learned about Rox being he knows about the existence of Emu, and there's a lot of speculation there we still have over that. And it's funny too, he's got a lot of parallels with Luffy, but at the same time you can see how he's got all these bad proclivities. It reminds me a bit of Big Mom too, where after this, Big Mom, up until Luffy, Big Mom probably had the closest to being like a more pure goal of her taking over the world. She wants to I'm not saying Rox is the idea. I'm just saying that Rox has similars of Luffy, but like Big Mom had good ideas too. She wants to she has her own country where she has all these people, and she wants this fairness and what do you call I can't think of the other words right now. This togetherness of people, but she still she'll treat her family very badly, and she doesn't really love them, and she's just building up amassing this army at the same time. And then the same thing with Kaido, where he cares about his very close subordinates, but anyone else below that, they're just fodder for his goals to start a war and destroy the world. And with Rox, it's kind of like, I see Rox as being more similar to Luffy in that he wants to amass people to join him, but he started out doing that mostly by forcing and conscripting, maybe might be the word, people into his crew. So he tried to do that with Whitebeard, and while some of these other people like Buckingham, Shiki, and Wang Ji, and the other guy as well, the one, the Don Marlin, seemed like they just joined because they can see that this guy's got the ambition and wherewithal and power to take over the world, and they want to be part of that party, so to speak. They don't want to miss out. We saw how that inspired Loki too. Loki had no ambition in life. He was on a secluded nation, and he recognized that he was basically the biggest and baddest in his nation. Except his father. And I feel like that's what Rox was. I bet Rox was kind of the same way. He looks like he was what would you call it now? A ruffian. Maybe a ruffian would be true too, where he was probably caused havoc in wherever he grew up, and then once he got out to sea, he just started causing havoc elsewhere. Now we're going to get into some other stuff here and see another group of pirates that we have forgotten about would be here, or I've forgotten about maybe. And we start out here today on 1156, and it's called Idols. So we're probably focusing around 44 years ago, where the last chapter left off. People like Big Mom and Kaido on board. This is right the year that Kaido joined. And Oda tells us, back at this time, a group of idols roamed the seas. and we see an island with a port city, and people announcing like to other or calling out to the others that the pirates are attacking them. And we see like we get the little commentary to get the idea of what happened, and like, well, hurry up, everyone, hurry, run for cover, get your guns out. We're under attack by pirates. And then another one's going, why aren't the men fighting back? And we get another one going more poignantly to someone, you're useless. Get up there and help us. So then we go to a scene in the streets of this city, and we see a bunch of women standing over men who have been beaten up. And more importantly, though, that Oda shows little hearts in her eye, one being very smitten with somebody. And then we get more commentary through these female citizens. They stole everything we have. And the men folk, they weren't any help at all. And one of the men's like, oh, they're just too tough. And then another woman goes, you didn't even try. You didn't even try to fight back. How are we going to make a living now? And the next panel shows, and Oda tells us, well, even the Navy were having trouble dealing with them. There's a lot of men there. So as you could probably guess, this was the Kuja pirates of this time period. We get a ship here. I think it's the same exact ship as Boa uses. And Oda tells us they were known as the Kuja pirates, a band of warriors from the exotic country of women. Actually, I was thinking about this too. As I misread this, when I was reading this last night again, I realized something that was interesting about the Kuja pirates. I think this might be one of the only crews of pirates that are probably a crew composed of a single community of people. When you think of other pirates like Luffy's, they're all from the East Blue. Well, I mean, Sanji came from, was he also North Blue? I think they were the North Blue. Because I know Law's crew's from the North. I want to get to them in a second. Yeah. When you got, they all kind of grew up in a East Blue, Luffy's crew, and he was able to bring them together. And the same with, like I said, Law's crew came together, and they're all from the North Blue. And then there's, well, except Beppo, right? And you got like Capone's crew, who are all from I think he's from the West Blue, and they're probably all members of either his gang or one of the other mafia families. The closest thing, but with the Kuja, they're all on one island, and I have a feeling maybe they would consider letting other women in their crew, but it looks like based on their attire and whatnot that they are only members from their tribe, their community. They're on that one island, and the closest thing I think might be is Capone's, and maybe Kid as well. Kid's group of people seem like they all knew each other growing up and might be from the same city or island community that banded together. So I thought that was very interesting because we get these other crews, like Rox is the most obvious too, and where he pulled all these different people together willingly and unwillingly into his crew for his goal. Luffy found people around the East Blue, but he also got them in. He that's the thing here. I like there's parallel here too. I think I kind of talked about Rox, but Luffy and him are similar that way. But Luffy is better at convincing people, like, no, help me. I want you to join me because you. Well, he does say I needed you. I'm trying to think now. Luffy did a much more persuasion, where Rox seems more like, he forced a lot of people in, and then Blackbeard, who is ironically Rox's kid, he seems a lot more like Luffy. That's one of those parallels too, where he's like thinking he persuaded these different people to join him. The way like we saw him do it with what's his name, the guy from Impel Down, the ex-warden, not warden, but he persuaded him to join. And with people like Jesus Burgess and that, they seem to be the same way. They just joined. He didn't press anyone into his service, which is great. This is, by the way, so great. Though I gotta go reread the Foxy arc, because that was where we got the introduction to the Davy Back fight, and seeing how that worked and how Foxy was a master manipulator in that kind of fussing, using that to like pull people in as he felt as he wanted. So as we go back, to go back into this now, the we get the introduction. Not introduction. We see this is like a formal introduction, but we saw her before. We see the captain of the Kuja pirates at this time. We first get this her her torso walking across, and her crew members are swooning over her like, "Oh my gosh, you're so amazing!" And Oda's going on. These pirates were strong and beautiful, and they shunned the presence of men. We're seeing the similarities to Hancock too, and we start seeing her, the captain of the Kuja pirates, going kind of bemoaning her beauty. Oh, I'm so sick and tired of looking like this. If only I could strip away this beauty of mine. She probably just. This is something here, I think, where they're. This is an interesting not testament to to how what happens when you're being treated like a celebrity all the time and you can't stand it. I like how Oda's dipping his toes into that mentality and how it affects your mindset. And I kind of feel bad for this woman because this is Gloriosa, who we know later is Granny Neon, and first introduced in the arc where we saw Amazon Lily when Luffy got sent there by Kuma. We get this introduction of her with her doing a little pose in front of her crew members, and you see she's got a very similar figure to Boa Hancock. Obviously, especially in the anime, she looked someone who animates Nami must have been in charge of that, but you can tell she's got a little bit of a difference here. Her face, I can't pinpoint how, but you can tell it's not exactly the same. She's got similar hair, but it's more like wavier than Nami's. I think Nami's, especially when it was short, was very straight. Maybe it is more wavy now. And so we're getting these other members of her crew swooning over her, like I said. They're going all over like, oh, I feel like my brain is bathed in light. She's so adorable. All this stuff. We're getting an idea of how popular she is. Apparently at this point, they're traversing more than just the area close to them. I don't know how much Hancock did. We saw her and her sisters out there a little bit before they got kidnapped. But I always felt like they probably weren't going too far. Like they're in the Calm Belt. And, what blue would be near them? I'm thinking that they probably just traversed into one of the blues nearby them and maybe into the Grand Line. Yeah, they're near one of the blues. I forget what other one's there. What blue that would be. And in the Grand Line, they could probably traverse to and then pirate. And Boa Hancock obviously is probably still doing it now, or wasn't until now. But these guys might be traversing around. They certainly are, because we're going to see some other pirate crew interact with them. But we get this scene here where she's on somewhere on her ship, and then this one woman walks up to her and says, "Oh, Gloriosa, here's today's fan letters." And we meet here Tritama, actually, who we found out last year in Oda releasing another SBS, is the one who becomes a pirate, the Empress of the Kujas, before Boa did. And according to Gloriosa, what Gloriosa told us later, later from this point, but back when when Luffy was there, that the Tritoma apparently died from the love sickness. So now we're actually getting to see her for the first time in the story. Well, the funny part here is, so Tritama comes up and she's not nearly as tall, maybe because we don't have an age, but this is 44 years ago, and she died 13, so let's see, that's 30 years ago, 30. I'm guessing, yeah, she must have been in her 40s when she passed away, if she passed away. I made a video last year with a theory about Tritama. Loosely speaking, I was thinking, what if that sex change thing that Ivanka could do is true? I was thinking maybe this is the woman who became Crocodile. I have to go. You can watch my video on that. Have it the case of the dead empress, I think I called it. So yeah, so she died. She looks like she's in her teens here. So I'm gonna say, well, she's like 18. She's rather short, so it makes her look younger. It's hard to tell sometimes what Oda's going for with age. So I think when he does something who's shorter like that, they're meant to look younger. So I'm thinking she's more like 15. So I'm gonna choose that for her. So she's 15 here, and 13 years ago, 31 years later, she dies. She would have been 46. Anyways, that's very. We're gonna get more into that because they bring up into something else here. We're gonna find out who Gloriosa was smitten with at this time. So, but the funny part is she's walking up with this big pile of envelopes. I got off topic, and she's holding it in her hands like, oh, here Gloriosa, and but behind her there's a stockpile that's like 10 feet high, and it's like a big mound. It's like about the same distance across, maybe more actually in diameter. And then Gloriosa looks over there while Tritoma's coming up to her with this pile, this big enough pile, and it's like, wait a minute, what are those? What's that pile for back there? And then Tritoma's like, well, those are for Lady Shaki. And Gloriosa's like, but that's 100 times more than mine. And we get the little title card confirming that her Tritoma's position. Amazon Lily Empress 2 generations later. So just a reminder, we got Boa and then Tritoma, and we found out Shaki came before that. We saw that in the chapter where her and Rayleigh helped save Boa from both when the Marines, and then led by Kobe, and no, there was another vice admiral there. Kobe and the other vice there, and then Blackbeard had come to their island to get, because Blackbeard, because yeah, the Marines came there to arrest Boa. Blackbeard came to get her fruit, and Rayleigh and Shaki come and save them. That's when we got the introduction to that information there. And so now we see that so Shaki's here too. We're going to see her momentarily. Gloriosa is very upset with this. She's like, this is preposterous. I'm the captain of the crew. I should be getting all the fan mail. And then we get more people getting all, oh my gosh, even when she's all mean and hot-headed or in a bad mood, she's so cool and beautiful. And so Oda goes on telling us, when I say Oda, by the way, I mean the narration. I just feel like saying Oda now because it's really like him. And it's like, yes, the true star of the times, who are shown even Gloriosa's beauty, was her first mate, Shaka. And then as this happens, now we get to a new scene later. And as this is happening with the first, as they were showing the fan mail stuff, we see a ship coming up behind them, or approaching from the front actually. And one of the other Kuja pirates comes up to Gloriosa, is like, Captain, enemy ship approaching. But Gloriosa's like, oh, ooh, and she gets all excited. You can tell this is who's on the ship is someone she really likes. And he's like, wait, oh my God, is it? And we get a voice over a megaphone. Is this thing on? Testing. Is this thing on? Roger speaking. This is Roger. And we get the ship. We see Roger's ship. What was his ship's name? I think it's the Oro Jackson, right? And it's like, it's coming up. He's got his... Actually, something else too I want to point out. When Roger talked with Whitebeard right before he turned himself in, years later, so that would be about 22 years after this, he said that people were calling me Gold Roger, but I'm actually Gold D Roger. And I'm just a little... I noticed here that the detail Oda put in is on his main sails, Roger has Gold D Roger written across his sails, so there's no confusion. So many of his other enemies must have known he was called that. They probably just didn't think much of it, right? I'm guessing, because definitely the public didn't. They always call him Gold Roger. And he's like, oh, Roger's going on. Don't resist. Don't try to resist us, Kuja pirates. This time we will get you. And we see Roger. This is great, by the way, because I want to see, because when we saw Roger at his youngest, this is the closest thing we saw now since. When Rayleigh was thinking back about when he first met Roger, the way it was drawn, especially I remember it in the anime, it was drawn where Roger looked mostly like Luffy when he was young. When his eyes were silhouetted, we saw him with a straw hat on. But when we got God Valley, which comes 6 years after this, and now we get this, we see he looks more like Ace. He doesn't, and he's still wearing a straw hat. He was still wearing a straw hat in God Valley, and he still is here, obviously, because this is 6 years back. It's great to see him like this. So he's there, and it's just nice to see him. He's got the long wavy hair that Ace has. He's got a little bit of facial hair coming in here, like a 5 o'clock shadow. And he's yelling to the Kuja pirates, today, once and for all, we're gonna make you hand over your first mate, Shaka. So Roger here, in a way, is trying to pull a Davy back thing, but like not exactly, but he wants to have Shaka join his crew. but because he seems very smitten with her, and we're gonna see all the Roger pirates pretty much are except one. And Gloriosa, we go back to Gloriosa, and she's like, "Why haven't you learned your lesson, Roger? Please listen. You already have my affections." Right here we got it. Gloriosa was smitten for Roger. So right there I gotta stop and ask all these questions. Gloriosa says in what was it? I had it last night. It was chapter 522, and I forgot the episodes are. When Boa comes down with the love sickness, she explained how Gloriosa explains to her how you have this. I know what this disease is. I had it. Or she explains part of it before, and then she explains some more of it after she accepts Luffy's thing, and we see she's going to recover. She explained throughout that part of the story how the last pirate Empress died. I caught it too, but I went out to sea and I recovered. So right there, I was thinking, Roger may have accidentally him and his crew came upon Amazon Lily and may have met Gloriosa. So now and then Gloriosa got love sickness and then went out to sea to chase down Roger. And then of course she's probably pillaging and stuff as she goes to help her people. And you can tell here with Gloriosa, she's blushing and that, and she looks exasperated. Like you can tell they've had this fight before, and she's really please, Roger, accept my love. I want you so badly. And Roger just is like, no, I want Shaka. We're gonna make her join our crew. Maybe all his men are begging him to do it too. And so next we get after hearing that pronouncement from Roger, a door's kicked open on the Kuja pirates, and he's like, "Who are you expecting to seize?" And Roger's like, "Oh, Roger and everyone else, all the men on his crew, maybe the women too, of course. The women, and you see all the hearts in their eyes, and everyone's like, Lady Shaka." Oh, some of those are the women from her own crew. And Oda says, someone once said that her every move and gesture embodied pure seduction. And we get more of the people. This looks like Roger's crew, and they're holding out roses. Like, please take my flowers, Shaka. Accept mine. No, get away. Accept my gift. Oda goes on again. In her presence, flowers wilted and crumbled. Birds forgot how to sing, and pirate people erupted into fighting. And we see Shaka's face. She's very similar here to Boa. It makes me wonder if they could be directly related, because she looks quite a bit different. Gloriosa. She's like, "Oh, hello, Gaban." So we see her. Gaban's ready to fight her. We don't get to see the initial attack like this, but we see him with his axe, and she goes up to him and kicks him right in the chin. And Gaban's like, "Oh, when I see her, when she calls my name, I lose all strength." So he's got the Sanji stuff going on. And then she goes up to Roger next, and he's holding on to his sword Ace. He's got it double-handed like he's going to do a divine departure, but he's shaking. And she goes up to him, "Oh, Roger, it's been a while." And he's like, What did you do to Gaban?" And then in the next shot, she's knocked him down. He's got a big lump. Roger's got a big lump on his head, but he's got the hearts in his eye too. And he's like, "Damn it. I love you so, though, Shaka." And she stands over him. She pulls out a cigarette, very cool. It's almost like the way Sanji, he draws like he would with Sanji. She's just pulling it out, lighting it. And he's like, "Oh, I love you too, Roger." Just playing along with him. But in the next shot, he was still on the ground, but it looks like one of those scenes where they got the man, they put the corner of the woman up, and they're like, "Hey, baby," kind of thing, or something like that. And Oda's going on again. In the face of such beauty, the mighty made fools of themselves. And she's like, after she's saying "I love you too," but she goes up to him and she's like titillating with him, and she's like, "But I will belong to no one." And we get a good shot of her here, and it looks, like I said, it looks a bit a combination of Nami and Hancock. Really, she's got different facial. She's got the dark hair though. She's got really long dark hair. Reminds me of Hancock's again. And her face, though, is like, it looked kind of like the way he drew Gloriosa. But she's got, very beautiful. She's very long hair. She's got the big eyes. And so the next shot is in her introduction. We see her full body. She's walking. She's very tall, lean, and getting very like Hancock. Also very tall. They're saying Glorioso is as well. And we get more swooning from her own members. So maybe those are Roger's. And then she says to her people, because she must be like the first mate. Yeah, it says right there. She's the first mate of the on the ship of the Cujos at this time. And she starts telling her crew, guys, get all the treasure. So they're robbing the Roger pirates. They're so dismantled and disabled from her beauty that she's able to tell someone, hey, just steal everything in their hold and put it on ours. Let's go. And we get a little shot too where Gloriosa comes on Roger's ship, and she's grabbing Roger and looking at him like, Roger, right here. Look at me. I'm here for you. I want you. Do you understand the honor? And he's like, move it, Gloriosa. I want to see Shaki. I can't see her. You're getting in the way. And she's like, ah. And we get a shot here. This is where the only interaction we get her with Rayleigh, which we know they're together now. And she's like, I feel bad for... She's like, No, he says, yeah, that's a bunch of idiots over there. And she says, I feel for you, Ray. And she just kind of gives him a little wink. So the thing here, too, to break down is that Rayleigh is not falling for her the way the others are. He's not swooning over her. But then when she gives him this little wink, you can tell, I think you're kind of cute, though. And he's kind of like, oh, wasn't expecting that. By the way, too, he's got that vertical scar at this time. He doesn't have any goatee. He's got a little bit of a goat, but nothing else. So you can see here, yeah, she just was playing along with this because she knew if she messed with all the Roger pirates' minds, we can steal whatever they might have had. So while this has been happening, someone else on the Cujo pirate's like, Gloriosa, it's the Navy, they're coming, they found us. So while this has been happening, we still see the Oro Jackson and the Cujo ship together, and we see a Navy ship coming over the horizon. And Gloriosa's like, hurry, pack up the goods and let's get out of here. Don't leave a single crumb. And everyone's just like, yes, hurry. And then we hear, they get the little dialogue, like everyone's mobilizing and getting their stuff act back together. And Roger or somebody's like, hey, at least leave us some food. And Roger says, we got to get moving. We got to set sail. Oh, prepare to sail. Duh. So one of Garp's men, I can't tell if that's supposed to be Rayleigh or Gabon. Like, oh, Roger, look, it's Garp's ship. And Roger's like, oh, shit, what? Disregard that order. Listen up, boys. And he's like, get ready to fight. And so we get a great dual shot. We see Roger saying, get ready, guys. And we get Garp in the next panel. And we see he's using cannonballs to, I should do this hand. He's using cannonballs as a weapon. We get him when he's young. And, wait, how many years ago was this? No, I was going to say, this looked like around the same time as when he was training Aokiji. But no, I think he trained Aokiji a little later. Aokiji's either in his late 40s or early 50s. So he wouldn't be old enough at this time to be in the Marines. We get flatten them all. And we get the title cards. Pirate Goldie Roger, future king of the pirates, father of Ace. Navy Vice Admiral Garp, future naval hero and grandfather of Luffy. So he was already a Navy Vice Admiral at this time? That's really impressive. So we see the Cujo ship floating away as Oro Jackson and Roger's Garp ships start throwing cannon fire and everything at each other. And we're getting attacks. We got the Meteor Fist, Rampaging Spirit. That must be Roger's attack. So anyways, they're getting away. And we get a great part of this double panel. We get a great shot of Roger and Garp fighting each other this time. And Garp's swinging out his fist. He's swinging his fist out, and he's got the hockey. Roger's holding Ace, and he kind of, I don't know if he missed. It kind of looked like he missed, but at the same time, he's got his hockey up, Ace, and he's swinging it. It's like the back of it's hitting Garp in the shoulder area, and you just see them kind of clashing together. And Roger does Garp lands a solid hit on Roger's left side of his face, and so Oda's goes says, Roger, Garp, and Rocks, men whose tales were spread as legends in the great age of pirates. So, like, after Roger was executed, they first clashed here in their hot-blooded youth. And then, meanwhile, in here, The Kuja, meanwhile, were tremendously popular and an indispensable part of the story of this era. So while the fighting's going on in the back, we still see the Kuja ship floating away, and we still see noise from the background, the fighting of Garp and Roger's crew, and we hear a thump, and Gloria also is like passed out. She probably was watching the fight, and she's like, I was getting the feeling for a second she liked Garp a little bit too, but I think I'm just gonna go with right now. She's probably watching Roger fight and thinking, oh, he's so wonderful when he fights. He's so tremendously powerful, and he never loses. She's passed out on the deck, and we see Shaka picking her up, like Shaka saying to her, like, hey, snap out of it, sister. What are you doing? And Glorious is just like, oh, my heart feels so heavy. I can't breathe. Oh, my chest. And then we see more of their crew members like, oh my God, they're both so gorgeous. And Oda goes on, these untouchable idols were the desire of all salty dogs in the sea, and their bounty posters were traded for considerable sums. Hidden cameras and pursuers were already a problem for them. And later, when Shaka took the mantle of Empress, her popularity reached heights never before seen. Oh God, this is hilarious. So that's the end of that. We got the whole thing there on the Shaka and the Kuja pirates and a bit stuff. So now we're going to turn back to Elbaf, which is where this whole story started, and we get some other stuff here. So now we go to Ida's bar in Elbaf. Remember, we see her later with this bartender named Mato, who's running it. We saw her first when Shanks was there hanging out with his crew, and then we saw Colin was trying to coerce Shanks to have Shanks let Colin join his crew, and Mato's fawning over him, and it's what do you call it? So we got that introduction, and then we found out. Was it the last chapter or the one before? I think it was the one before where we found out Ida decided to go down there and form this bar about 48 years ago or so to try to help travelers in that who find their way to Elbaf. And, hold on. Yeah. Okay. So now we're seeing this, we're here at Ida's bar, and we have Harold and Ida and Loki and Harold and everyone are here. And so a ship is there, and someone has brought back Loki. Loki is trying to get his own ship and leave Elbaf, kind of the way we saw with Ace and Luffy and Sabo even leaving. This is kind of, actually, this feels more like Sabo, because Sabo tried to leave when he was like 10 or 11, and then that's when he got shot down, and then a dragon rescued him. And so this crew found his ship and Loki's ship and brought him back. And they're telling the story. We found his ship capsized and Loki was drowning. We're not even sure if we thought he might even be dead. So this must be a crew. Are these crew giants? Yeah, this is some other giants who were fishing. Maybe there might have been the fishermen. And they're saying, this is how bad his behavior's got while you're gone, Harold. You have to do something. And Harold is like, well, I appreciate what you're doing. I appreciate you saving him. Thank you. And he's looking at Loki like, hey, Loki, hang in there. Oh, wait, no, I'd read that wrong. She was saying, we weren't sure if we should save him. Because they're kind of sick of what his behavior has been like. I completely got that wrong. So then that's what happens next. Ida walks up to this captain of this crew. Like, what do you mean you weren't sure you should save him? You should just do it no matter what. It doesn't matter who he is. What if Loki had died out there? And Harold's behind her like, oh, okay, Ida, please calm down. It was his decision to go out to sea. And Ida goes up to him and says, well, it doesn't show it, but she's like, so what? If you abandon Loki, I'll drown you 100 times. And then Loki's over nearby like, I didn't ask any of you guys for help. And then that captain's like, see, that's the attitude that's just so annoying. He's never appreciative of anything. And the captain looks like he wants to go over there and stomp Loki. And someone else is grabbing him like, oh, calm down, Captain. And so Ida's there. You can see where Ida She's definitely like this very Mother Teresa style. She cares for everyone. It's so I love it. So I understand. I'm more on her side in this case. Like I see, and she's just like. But anyway, she's like, he lost his mom. His dad's always been. Harold, you're always so busy, and to stay home. He's just lonely. He needs more attention. And Loki's like, oh, shut up. You hag. And she goes up to him like, are you sure you wouldn't want to just live with us? Meaning herself and like Haruden. And we get Haruden and Loki at the same time like, no way. I'm not doing that. No. So she's trying to help him. She wants to step in and be a mother figure. Loki's getting all the wrong ideas. You can tell he's like, you just want to pretend to be my mom and live in the castle, don't you? You're going to try and steal all our money. Dude, that's what your mom did. Dude. Oh, that got me so mad, that line. And Haruden doesn't like that. Like, shut up. Don't say that about my mom. And he's starting ready to run over there. And I think, it looks like, I can't tell if he stopped, but it looked like for a second here, Harold's grabbing Haruden by the back of his shirt and saying, hold on, Haruden, calm down. And Haruden, though, doesn't like that line. Harold goes to like, Oki, that's gone too far. You apologize to her right now. You have no idea what Ida's been through. And Ida's just like, oh, you kids are just so sweet. It's just, that's a little annoying. But I mean, that part bothers me because she's like, well, she can't reprimand Loki. She should, I don't know. I just think of that whenever the Straw Hats are fighting and Robin's always like, oh my gosh, you guys. But sometimes I felt like Robin should step in and stop the little squabbling among the Straw Hats. But here, these guys, she's trying to think, okay, I can't say anything. They're just going to ignore me. I got to let them settle it themselves. And someone there, who said that? You're being too soft on them, Ida. Now we meet, we actually get to see Mato, who we know later is running Ida's bar when she's little. She's like the same age as Haruden, it looks like. And she's crying there. Maybe she's like interning or helping out Ida at the bar. She's got the little, you can tell it's her because she's got her hair. She's got this she's got a little apron on. Looks about the same as the one we saw when we first met her. And she says, I hate the way Loki talks to you, Ida. He's so not nice to you. And she's like, and Ida's like, don't worry, Ida, Mato, don't worry. I know you cry. Are you crying for me? It's okay. I guess this world's just too good for me. And Loki gets up again. And he's like ranting in his same way. He always says, I'm so sick of this country. Why do I have to be around you weaklings? I want to be free, just like rocks. So now this is going to be a transition. We're going to get to the last portion of this where we're going to see more about the rocks. And Otis starts it by saying, from this point on, every time Rox came to invite Harold to join him, Loki begged and pleaded to join his ship, but he never got his way. And we see we get a shot of Elbaf there, and I think this is Loki saying, I'm going to finally leave this day. Aren't you guys all relieved? I'm sick of all you. Like I've said before, I have to say it again. I hate all of you. So you can really see like he's just like, he doesn't know how to, he's got that punk attitude you see in a lot of different media where he doesn't know, he wants to be accepted by them, but he's also annoyed by his community's beliefs and how they're not following through with his own beliefs and such, and he doesn't know how to do anything but to push them away when he really should be wanting to have them. I think we're going to get to, I think we're at a point in the present day where we're going to see that I kind of felt like that when he said to Haruden, like, unchain me and I'll help you, that he's finally come around to realizing I can't just push my community away. They are my people and I want to help them finally, especially now they're under attack by the God's Knights. So now we go to the final pages, the final portion. We went this next act of seeing the Rocks Pirates now, and it starts off by saying several months after the takeover of the pirate island by the Rocks Pirates. So first we get a shot here, and this is really interesting. We see Full Island, and we see the giant rock formation on the top, But at this point, it does not have that skull look. It's just like a big oval, not oval, it's like that kind of is an oval on its side, but that little bit out its left side. But that's supposed to be, I don't know what that's supposed to look like. But I was starting to think what it looked like. I should have pulled up an image of it. And so we got a new person walking through town, and like, I want to join the Rocks Pirates. And some of the other pirate citizens are like, hey, who are you? And then someone else is like, yeah, sure. Everyone wants to join Rocks Pirates. Doesn't mean you'll ever meet him. So already at this point, the Rocks Pirates are like these celebrities here all the other pirates are like, yeah, we all wanted to join him too, but we're too weak. He only accepts the strongest. You kind of got that. We kind of got that tidbit of that when we got Kaido's flashback and he was beating up some other pirate in a duel, and we saw Whitebeard say, "Oh, hey, Rocks has an interest in you. Why don't you come meet him?" So only if one of the other crew members or someone else saw someone who's got potential would they get a chance at this point, it looks like, to join. And then, so we go back to this new person walking through, and we first get him just in a cloak and we can't see his face, and another drunken pirate goes up like, oh, you want to go meet him? Go on. But the farther you go inland, the crazier the people are around here. Good luck trying to get there. And this drunk pirate is like, oh, I'll give you a little push. And he kicks this guy in his hip area. And some other people are like, haha, you should just go easy on him. He doesn't know any better. But this guy, this serious figure, his left hand comes on. He grabs that coyote that kicked him, and he starts crushing his head. His hand's so big, and then we get a full look of him. And we see the guy's name. We get a title card and everything. And he's Mobster Kyo, Future Silver Axe. I gotta start tickling, but I'm getting too excited here. And the other guy's like, and he's squeezing the other guy and try killing him, like, ah, and you hear him screaming and everything. And then some other people are like, oh, it's him, Kyo, the hitman. What's Shiki's rival doing here? So we got a thing there too. This guy is someone that Shiki has clashed with in the past, from wherever he came from. And Oda's adds in powerful figures were drawn to rocks, brought in many other mighty types due to his reputation. And some other people are like, get back, I'll kill you, without a second thought of it. So this guy, let's give it a little description. This guy gives me he gives me the vibes of I was thinking mostly of Smoker. Who was the other person I was thinking of? He gets like Smoker and who was it with the tattoos? Now I can't think of it. There was someone else I was thinking of. Mostly Smoker though. He's very beefy. He's got all these tattoos on him though. Oh yeah. Oh, that's right. Mr. One. He gives me vibes of like being designed to be like Mr. One or Smoker. He's got the hair like Mr. One, and he just got that don't fuck with me that they both have. And he's wearing sunglasses that have an X across them. And he's got the giant axe on his back that you can see. You can see the handle, and you can see part of the edge on the other side. And after that, we get a shot now where I don't know if this is. It doesn't tell us if this is the same day or not. We see the top of the rock formation and two explosions coming out. And this is where like Rocks is gonna make it look like a skull symbol. And we see some other citizens like, whoa, what is that? And we go up to the top and we hear Rocks saying, how about that view? Let's take a look at the sights. I think this was a good idea to make these holes like that, huh? Don't you agree? So you see him looking out there, and he's like looking. This is great. This is perfect for us. And you see silhouettes of all the crew members behind him. So now we're going to get a bit more into Rox's talks here to the other crew members now, because this is the point now where he's really like getting ready to go out and like really fulfill his plan. But you can tell he's still not ready yet. He sits here. So I need to let you guys know there's 2 more devil fruits that I want, and then we'll be ready. One of them is likely found on Elbaf, but its power will only be truly unlocked if Harold, their king, eats it. And then we get some other dialogue here. First we go to Captain John, and he's like, you're after that you want to find the Galleria, right? I only know them as legend. Yeah, it's about the same thing. You're looking for those Galileo folks, it says in the rough. I've heard of them in legends, but I don't know if they're still around. It's kind of hinting at. And then we go to Big Mom. We see her here. Because she's joined at this time. I don't know. Do you think Big Mom probably joined herself, or was she probably conscripted? But I think, the former. She's like, I got my information network on the hunt, but there's no hint of a band of frozen giants anywhere. Oh, the Gallia, duh. Right. They're looking for the group of pirates I kept thinking that they meant some other race, like we have the Buccaneers, and I'm wondering if Rox is from a different group. They're looking for the giants that are there in Punk Hazard, and Harold and Jarl were talking about them. They were traveling around and they got captured. He wants them on his side too. That's right. We don't know when they were captured though, do we? And then we go to Whitebeard, and he's like, well, if they're still around, they're probably corpses by now. And then we get, what's his name? We get to see young Strusen again. This is the guy that, I think he's Peril Sparrow's father. He was the one who has been working with Big Mom since after she ate Mother Caramel. And he's like, yeah, good point. They ain't coming back to life. So all this, like, between Whitebeard and Strusen, Rox gets a bit upset, like, oh, shut up. We can still dream about it, can't we? We still can try and find them. So we kind of see his where Blackbeard's mentality is, where he's like saying, look, so we can get that. We can't give up hope until we're absolutely sure. Now we meet a new guy here. We get one new character, a fishman named Barbell. He's got an interesting look. He's got this fiery looking hair. He's got a big broad face, big lips, and he's got like a goatee starting to form. And he says, but even if we were to find them and rescue them, they would have no reason to listen to you. And so Rox is like, you're right. That's why I need the power of King Harold. And so now we get Kaido speaking up, and he says, can you just suppress them like you've done others through your sheer strength? Do it to King Harold. Subdue him. Make him listen to you. And Rox does not like this. He takes offense at that. And in the next shot, he kicks Kaido in the face. And he says, don't ever say that to me. He's my friend. Yeah, wait. Didn't he say that there? How did he say that? Yeah, he says in the next panel there, he's my pal. Do you say that nonsense again? I'll get rid of you first, Kaido. And then some of the people are like, calm down, Rox. Don't do that. And then some other people are like, Kaido, calm down too, because Kaido looks like he's ready to throw hands with Rox, and you see Rox reaching for a saber. And someone else is saying, we just got to this island. You're going to smash it to pieces now? And we're just like, gosh. And I think this is Shiki saying, it's like, oh God, this crew is bound to fall apart sooner or later. And yeah, you can always see here, I'm going to stop here a little bit. You already can see here the crumbling of this crew. They're all joining here either forcefully or willingly to help him, but because of these different mentalities, how they're not really willing to join out of pure, I don't know how to put this. It's just, you can tell the difference here again versus Luffy's crew, where Luffy's crew, they don't always get along. You know, Nami gets upset with Luffy's shenanigans. Sanji and Zoro especially like to throw hands and get mad at each other, but they understand they don't really hate each other. But here, you really see where this, you better listen to me or I'll kill you is going on. This is really like the cracks out here. And Captain John saying, oh, well, why don't we learn a little before we can get it, while we wait for Harold to join us. Let's take it easy for now, guys. Come on. So finally we get the last shot now of this thing, this chapter, and we get a great double panel of all these members together. And so we see everyone. We see Whitebeard, we see Marlin, Shiki, Wang Ji. We get one little shot there of Buckingham together. And then what was the other guy's name? Gangzhou, I think. We got Kaido, Captain John, Lin. We see what's his name? Her Struzan there. We got all these members in one shot. And the catfish guy, Barbell, and they're all together. And now this is like he's like formally saying, "Let's get going, guys." He's saying like, "Yeah, listen up. Elbaf is the key to taking down the Holy Land. If you don't trust me on that, get out of here now. Leave. You can take. There's the door. It's up to you whether or not you want to follow me in this fateful day of our mission. But if you got the stones for it, then stick around with me. I'll show you to the peak of the world." Sorry, I keep thinking my camera's that way, right here. And we just get this shot there. You can see, it's especially interesting here to see their faces. It mainly looks like, you can mainly see like it looks like Whitebeard and Kaido especially don't care to be here. While the others look like there's like just there to like say, hey, yeah, well, this guy's going to take us places. Especially like Shiki and Struzan and Big Mom herself. They look like, yep, we'll stick with this guy for now. Struzan especially, he looks so conniving. He's like, yeah, well, this don't work. I'll stay with Big Mom and we'll go places anyways. Yeah, and Whitebeard especially just looks like, I don't want to be here. Yeah, and it just ends there, and we get the big name, the Rocks Pirates. And so I'm wondering where they're going to go from here now. What else they'll show with the Rocks Pirates, what they're going to do, because this is still supposed to be like probably 43, 44 years ago, and so they still got 5-6 years before they'll fall apart when they're defeated at God's Valley. So he's still waiting here too. He's got these guys together, but he doesn't think it's enough. I guess in a way you could say he wants to get a infantry force, a huge army together before he goes after the up top of the world. He knows that at this point it makes you think, does he know about the God's Knights? He must have some inkling of them, because if there's several of them, he's got like here. What do you got? 3, 4. So you got what was it? I think there's over a dozen members now, and so he still knows that that's not going to be enough to take on any kind of infantry and other stuff the world government has. So he wants that. But plus, you can tell too here he's got the same. You can see where Blackbeard may have gotten this from too, where he wants to make sure he's got very powerful devil fruit users along with hockey users and such to have a chance against whatever the government's got on their side. And he knows something here about Harold's devil fruit, which we're still waiting to see. We've been dragging this out for so long. We're not dragging out. But it's like just so frustrating at this point that I think, what the fuck is it? I'm hoping it's what I'm thinking it is. And at the devil fruit's day, a mythical zone for Jormungandr, the world serpent. I'm thinking Loki probably has it now. And yeah, this was a really awesome chapter. So the next question here is, we don't have Gloriosa on this crew. Two things, yeah. We don't have Gloriosa on this. So we don't have Gloriosa here, though. So did Gloriosa decide to join shortly after being rejected by Roger? That's something I kept thinking about last night. Or does she get conscripted next? Because we saw her at God's Valley, but not here yet. So she's still going around with her crew, and I don't know if she's pursuing Roger herself or if she wants to just pillage. She's probably doing that too, to pillage, to bring in booty and stuff for her crew, her people on the island. But and now we got Silver Axe here. And no, Silver Axe isn't in this double panel shot, because this is probably supposed to be right at the same time. So anyways, yeah, this was an excellent chapter especially for seeing Roger when he's young. And it's funny to see him and the others, his crew, trying to... It looked like Roger was dabbling a bit in trying to get other people on his crew in a way that is not as bad as Rocks, but not as good as what Luffy does. He tried to say, well, we'll defeat you guys, and then if we lose, we get your first mate, Shaka. And so Roger was very smitten with her back then. But and it's just too bad that him and Gloriosa didn't work out. Now that's the quite thing too again. Like, did Gloriosa, is this who Gloriosa was talking about in the chapter? I was reading it last night. It was 522 and 23. And then she's talking about how she was in love once and she left. And you saw her when after Boa was like in love. She's like, oh, I used to be in love like that. And now I keep thinking that she's referencing Roger. Actually, I forgot. I should look up their age. Oh, we don't have an age for her. What's Roger's age? Age at death, 53, 60, 73. So Roger would be about 78. But I don't think we have an age for Gloriosa, though. So we're probably close in age, though. So it's just going to be interesting to see how she ends up joining up with them. Oh, that's right. Now, also, one more thing. That makes sense now why Gloriosa was saying to Stussy, don't be pathetic. She's saying that you shouldn't be clinging to that man you love. You should kind of like push him away and make him come to you. But Stussy was just like hell bent on like saying, hey, Whitebeard, I'm here. I'm going to follow you wherever you go. Now that makes more sense why Gloriosa wouldn't like Buckingham Stussy, because he's like, yeah, you are a disgrace to women. You shouldn't just cling to the man like that and fawn over him. They should fawn over you. That makes a lot more sense now. So I hope in the next chapter we can get more go back to Loki and learn about him, about what's going to happen here. I'm thinking we're going to have one more. I'm thinking we'll have that one more interaction that we briefly saw Loki think about 20 chapters back, where he tries to challenge Rox to a duel and loses, and Whitebeard was there. There's probably going to be some other connection, probably before God Valley, I'll bet, where he's like, hey, join me now. I'm almost ready to go. If you join us, we'll be able to rule the world. And there's something else there, too. Rox keeps referencing Harold as his pal, and I doubt Harold sees him exactly that way. Harold's a very diplomatic king. He's very good at, it looks like handling guests. So he probably was being very cordial and whatnot when Rox was there. We saw in the last chapter, but he's like, okay, I'm not going to join you though. I've told you over and over again, I'm not interested in your goals. I'm trying to just help the world work together. I have all these diplomatic ties already. And he said, if I join you, I'll ruin all that. And Rox wants to just turn the world upside down. And so they can't see eye to eye, but Rox is very persistent and nothing else. The same, again, this reminds me of Luffy. They're saying, well, I'll keep trying. I know you'll have to join See My Way someday. And it's just like, that's one thing I never liked about stuff like that. I think I brought this up before a bit about Luffy. Like, at some point, you have to understand that no means no, and some people are going to want to do their own thing. They can't force everyone to be under you. I think Luffy doesn't understand this in a way. So Luffy sometimes seems like he does when he's talking, I want my friends to all be able to eat as much as they can. He didn't try to force Kanemon or Momosuke to join, but then other times he's saying, Loki, join my crew. You join my crew. It's like, there's a little bit of similarities there where it's like these other people, you can join in an alliance, but you don't have to make them form under you. It's like the structure of how some people could work together. Luffy sometimes seems oblivious to, where he should understand it. He understood, he was fine with it when he worked with Law. It's like, okay, well, we're going to be an alliance. Law started that brought it up, and he wasn't trying to say, well, okay, I get it. We're just going to work together. So I think Luffy has to understand, and especially here, Rox especially is even worse, is what I'm getting at, doesn't understand that. And he's like, I need you to join me. I want you to help. But it's like, in a way, I guess he could be saying, what I'm kind of getting at here is kind of a hypocrisy where Rox has forced some of these other people to join him and through the Davy back fight. And you can see, like I said, especially it looks like Whitebeard does not like this relationship. But then he got other people to join, and it's like you should just stick to that, because it'll have a longer lasting benefit to your relationship with these people. But it's like when these guys got their eyes on the prize too much, they lose sight of everything else getting there. And it's just like, I think that's going to be you can see that's part of Rox's downfall especially. And it looks like Whitebeard, his son, has learned that, because got these other people listening, coming to him in a same way that Luffy does, more or less, where it's like, hey, you should join me. We can go places together. Like I said, Luffy's persistent sometimes a little too much, but it's like, I think sometimes he eventually gets it, but it's like Rocks never did. And so, and Whitebeard, I would give him benefit. I think Whitebeard especially is really good with that. Of all, if he had all the faults of being similar to his dad, Blackbeard, knows how to say, hey, I'll get these guys to join up with me through some persuasion, not conscription and anything else, so that they will work together better that way. So I appreciate that, and so I really like this backstory too, and how we linked up everything now. And you can see too, Big Mom. One little thing with Big Mom, she said, "Oh, she's already got this information network because it was shown a bit in Totland how she has spies and stuff, and she knows things that's going on, and she was like threatened Sanji to send a hitman to Zeph. So you see her; she's already established that stuff here. And obviously at this time, Big Mom would have a lot of kids cut like what's his name? Katakuri and Perospero and everyone else are somewhere. We don't see them here. So anyways, yeah, this was a great chapter. I can't wait to see what happens next with Loki, especially, because I don't know how much I want to show with Rock's crew. So yeah, what's going to happen next with Loki, and what's going to happen with Gloriosa? The things I want to see the most in this next chapter. I'm also hoping maybe we'll find out whether maybe Rox had a devil fruit. Because I had a theory a while back that maybe Rox had the darkness fruit and then Roger got it at God Valley. Maybe not. I want to figure out if there's any clues to anything around that stuff that'll be given to us soon. Anyways, that's all I got. Thanks for watching.